What's going on, guys? This is my 2007 FJ Cruiser, and today we're going to be not only changing the alternator but also upgrading. And once we get to that, I will tell you a little bit more about it. But first things first is we've got to get the battery out. It is currently dead, so I'm actually going to be hooking it up to a wall charger. Everything that I use is going to be in the description below. Next thing is going to be taking the belt off of the alternator. You've got the alternator right here. You got the belt that runs over and underneath. Now the tensioner is actually going to be this one right here. You're looking at where the fan is. You've got a pulley on each side. It's going to be the one on the right side. That's also going to be a 14 millimeter. So you're going to stick that on there, turn it counterclockwise, and that is going to release some tension. There's two bolts, one on top and one on the side right here. The one for me on top is a 11 millimeter, and the one down below is going to be a 10 millimeter. Then you've got a plug that's also wrapped in with that, so just disconnect it. And then lastly, you've got the two bolts actually holding the alternator in. Those are also going to be a 14, and it really helps if you have an extension for this one. You'd think this would be the easiest part now that everything's unbolted, but you kind of have to shake it back and forth while you're lifting up on it, and then you're free. There we go. Just touch my nose. Now, one thing I do highly recommend is getting your alternator through O'Reilly's, because they have a lifetime warranty, which is super awesome. So you can literally just take this old thing and get a brand new one. So I know this thing looks very similar to the one that I just had, but this one's actually different. This is actually going to be one out of a Tacoma. Now, don't quote me exactly, because I don't really know the years. Wherever you go to get your alternator at, they can look it up in the computer and tell you which one to get. But the main difference between these is this one's actually a little bit bigger. Not necessarily in size, but in performance. But they're roughly about the same price. So I highly recommend just go ahead and upgrading to this one right here. I'm gonna throw a lot of numbers out here, but bear with me. Stock alternator in the FJ, I wanna say, is like right around 100 amps. Now that's not like max power, but the Tacoma one is 130, so you get just a little bit of a jump. Way back when, I used to have a dual battery setup in this thing, and it was keeping both of those batteries right around 14. Now I know they have some high average alternators that are like twice as much. What you're going to be running for any type of like overland or any other type of rig, if you've got winch, lights, fridge and everything like that, this one's actually done really well for me. Even the gauge inside on the dash, you'll notice that gets just a little bit of bump just by adding this one right here. Now, I really encourage everybody to do their own research, because you're gonna find a bunch of stuff. But this is just a little simple mod that's about the same price as the regular alternator, so you might as well just go ahead and upgrade. So what we're gonna do is pretty much just retrace our steps to throw everything back together. That 14 mil, I'm gonna try to put this belt back on. So the reason I was saying don't take that belt all the way off is so you don't have to put it all the way back on. So you can kind of already see where it's gonna be running. If you do happen to forget or take the whole thing off, no worries, just Google. This will be like the diagram right here that you need to follow. And I know putting these belts on they're kind of like a little bit frustrating and stuff, just because of like how tedious and everything they are. But definitely be very careful, because I have learned that it looks like it's on like right now, and I don't know if it's just with the FJs or what, but like right behind the fan, it'll be a little bit offset sometimes. So double check that, because I know on a trip that I had to Tennessee, it actually ended up splicing the belt just because it was off, just one little notch, and then so it ended up cutting that. Got caught up in the fan. There's a bunch of other stuff that happened. Wasn't that great of a trip, but that was the reason why. So definitely double check that. See right here, prime example where everything looks golden, but that right there is actually going to be a big problem a little bit later on. All right, it is the same day. I lost track of time. Had to run to the post office before they closed. Got some more parts in for the van. All right, and that's gonna be the small upgrade that you can do to your alternator. Maybe this video helped just if you need to replace it just in general. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Everything else I'm gonna list in the description below, and y'all have a good one. Peace.